Okay, folks, so here we are nearing the end of the lockdown, and we have reached the end of the Toylander build, the manufacturing bit. A quick rundown for those who haven't been following all the way from the start. This Toylander comes from the UK in a kit. It's quite a pricey kit, and you essentially get a very, very basic build out of it. What is very basic is the auto electrical. You basically got a light that switches on and all the indicators, headlights, everything comes on. But what's nice about it is that it's also very, very customizable. A little thing on the size, it's relatively big. It's probably a 1:3 ratio to the original Land Rover that it's based on, although I'm sure their licensing won't agree with that. But what is very nice is that you have a lot of freedom to do exactly what you want. The drive mechanism for this is two 12 to 24 volt motors that are sitting underneath here. So I'm not going to open all of that up. And it has a control unit that comes with that is set to 24 volts. You can also set it to 12, but this particular one is set to 24. So under the bonnet over here we've got our two 12 volt batteries. I've decided on 652 size. And the challenge here on the electrical side has been to try and get the 12 volt and 24 volt systems running simultaneously. So we have our 24 volts coming off that goes to the controller, the battery switch and the motors. And then we have a 12 volt system that is run over here on a separate ignition relay. You've got a fuse box. We've got a couple of relays stolen from the Bantam. We've got original Land Rover flasher unit for the indicators, because I basically thought, that the amount of money you spend on this kit and the amount of time you spend on the build, you might as well make everything work. So it has working indicators. These two little relays are put in for the hazard lights to work, and then we have our headlight relay, and here we have another relay which seriously don't even remember what that's for, and a little hooter that is not too loud. It's a 12 to 24 volt hooter, but I've decided to leave it on the 12 volt circuit for parenting reasons. I think it is, you don't want that going all Sunday afternoon. And then an 80 amp fuse. So that's basically the electrical that comes in. So part of the customization here, you get a very basic dashboard. It's sort of a rectangular thing that goes in. They give you a couple of inserts, couple of switches, and that's what you get. So I've had to make this small modification fit and add some aluminium trim on it, just to fit in the extra controls that I wanted. It does come with a little there is the name in case you want to look it up on the internet. There's a Facebook group also. So yes, so on here, so while we're down here, I've put in let's come around here. I've put in a battery master that can also be used as a parental control and an instant cutoff, and then your ignition. So you can obviously add in any little LEDs and stuff that you want just to make it look cool, and so all of that works. And then you got your forward and your reverse. Now I've taken off the drive chains because I've had to manufacture bits for the brake bar, which took some time, and the drive chains are very tricky to put on. So I think on the rebuild after the paint, they're all gone. But at the moment you can see you have to manufacture yourself a little accelerator pedal, and it does work. Let's say the speed of this is about 5 to 8 miles an hour. It does have working brakes, and it also has a handbrake. Now part of the customization that you've got, let's just go through these controls. You've got little indicators that are working, and around the back, and you can have your hazards run should you like, and all the headlights and tail lights are functional. So it's a fully functional baby Land Rover. The headlights are not great. They're basically using daytime running bulbs. and you can get as much functioning as you really like. You know, the guys go as far as to put in windshield wipers and everything into this. And of course, the little hooter, as you can see, it's quite quiet. We don't really want it a lot louder than that. There we go. So that's the electrical, all essentially working. The interior I've decided to do with a lot of aluminium. It's obviously going to look a lot better in paint, and what still needs to come in is a 24-volt charging system. So I'm thinking of doing a battery level circuit in here and a charging port in there, in this spare space here. But there's very little space for anything else here. I always say when I'm building or making something is, if you can't hide it, turn it into a feature. So what I've done is run the cables all through underneath here and turn it out with some nice aluminium trim, and I'll just router the edges. So that's going to be the green, and it's going to look really, really nice, I think, when I'm done. The seat still needs to be done. We've got a bit of a lockdown issue, so to get something with vinyl sticks on with Velcro is going to have to wait a bit. But this can fold out so an adult can sit in here. This is just old water damage. This thing's been sitting in the garage for over 10 years. And yes, you know, this is part of your own creation, to hide away the indicators and all the mechanism behind there. It does have the back tailgate for the load bin does open, and when I can get my hands on some steel, I'll manufacture a back bumper for it that will match the front one. A lot of care and a lot of time and detail has gone into it. You know, get these little aluminium trims on and make it look really good. So you've got two motors, one running each of the back wheels, and what's nice about them is because they are wired up in series, is if it sort of works as a limited slip diff. If one of the wheels gets stuck, it transfers all the power to the other motor, and vice versa. The windshield's also been a bit of a challenge, well, just to not break it. Really, it's a bit of perspex, and it folds down. So I've got to make a bit of a plan with some trim on the back here, and it does also lock up with some very Land Rover type mechanism. So we've reached the end of the build here. It's a bit of space in the back. You could probably fit 4 6 to 10 year olds in here, and it would run quite happily. Like I say, they estimate 5 to 8 miles per hour, so it's not very fast. It comes with little wing mirrors and little aluminium trims everywhere. So I think it's looking fantastic. So our next stage here in this build is and that's why I'm making a video, because there's not really going to be some photos for a while, because I essentially now have to completely strip it down and start with a body filler and primer. And I think our end product is going to be British Racing Green. As you can see, they give you a semi-formed aluminium bonnet, which you really have to make it work yourself. So there are a bit of dents in where it's been molded, but that's anyone who's done a bit of body filler work knows it's a lot of filling and a lot of sanding, and it's going to look really great at the end of it. So guys, yes, thanks for following the build so far. We're not going to be having a few posts because it has to be stripped down, everything sanded, a lot of primer, a lot of paint, and a lot of polishing. But I think we've done really well. This has been a really productive lockdown. And guys, if there are, obviously with lockdown, I'm in a bit of a tight spot with as far as paint and everything is concerned. If anyone does have any 2K primer or 2K British Racing Green, that would really be appreciated. Let me know. And thank you for following the build. Enjoy.